Iruma readjusts back to his everyday life at the school. After he heads for lunch, the beast that had previously emerged from his ring once again appears. However, to both their surprise, he can suddenly now talk, discovering himself to be the manifestation of the gluttonous feeder ring. After chastising Iruma for his poor use of magical abilities, the beast gets him to use a transformation spell to give him a proper form, which ends up becoming a small, slender, one-eyed figure in a suit. He also tells Iruma to refer to him as Alucard. He convinces Iruma to continue experimenting with his transformation abilities, eventually leading him to transform into his Irumi outfit. At the same time, Amiri finds him and is completely flustered and confused at the sight of Iruma in a dress, and runs off before he can explain himself. He wants to clear up the misunderstanding, but Alucard refuses to reveal himself unless they can prove there are more cases like him. Iruma tries to ask Sullivan for answers, but he brushes it off as nonsense. While doing research on the ring and figuring out the moments in the past where Alucard was conscious, Iruma figures out that the higher he gets, the more Alucard changes. Iruma declares his new goal to continue rising the ranks to learn the truth behind Alucard, even if it means standing out more and still failing to clear up the misunderstanding with Amiri. American Amiri has nightmares about Iruma cross-dressing. Crocell forces Iruma to wear his dress for a photograph as her fans are demanding to know who the idol was at her concert. During the struggle, Amiri witnesses Iruma on top of Crocell and tracks him away. When she asks him about the magical apparatus battler, which after the incident with Kiriwo has been closed, she offers to reopen it if Iruma, Clara, and Asmodeus each obtain letters of recommendation from 3 battler presidents. Clara temporarily joins the gambling battler, Asmodeus the new magic battler, and Iruma is forced to join the student council under Amiri. While carrying out student council tasks, Iruma starts to realize how capable Amiri is, especially when she refuses to let Sullivan continue spoiling him. Later, while reading First Love Memories together, Amiri's teacup breaks, which she considers ominous. Iruma soon grows into his role on the council, impressing the other members, while Amiri considers whether to make him a real council member. Amiri is lured away and dragged by an unknown hooded person. Her absence is soon noticed by the council, and when they find her, she begins acting strangely. The student council learns that Amiri has been infected by a spell that, while retaining her old memories, has turned her into a much more dainty, ladylike woman, and that she should return to normal if she keeps up her usual routine. However, the council finds themselves struggling to keep up with the workload Amiri can no longer handle, as well as unable to keep up appearances due to her current cutesy persona. They are then surprised by the sudden arrival of the one the council believes to be responsible for Amiri's predicament, the flamboyant president of the diplomacy battler, Renove Romier. He declares his intentions to take over the student council now that Amiri's no longer fit to run it, while playing coy when they ask if he put the spell on her. He challenges them to a dissolution election, where the student body can vote on who should be the student council, and whoever loses must be dissolved. Iruma slaps his hand away when he starts touching Amiri, leading him to retreat while the rest of the council praises him. The following day, Renove uses his bloodline ability, Charisma, to campaign, leading to a mixed reception until he promises to be more lenient and fun than the current student council, while Amiri struggles to keep up with her small support. When Amiri asks him to talk, Iruma decides to contact Clara and Asmodeus for assistance. While waiting, Alucard reappears, telling Iruma the spell is nearly undone and just needs a trigger to completely fix it. Amiri then enters facing Iruma, dressed in her original student council attire. Amiri had hoped her old outfit would trigger her return to normal, but she's now considering quitting the student council to begin a peaceful high school life with Iruma. Iruma refuses and praises the hard work of her old personality. During the election, Renove promises to make the school a pleasure paradise. Iruma's support reminds Amiri of how great she wanted Babbles to become, and she gives an impassioned speech, imploring the students to pursue their own desires instead of Renove's. Spotting Iruma in the crowd, Amiri realizes she is completely in love with him, triggering her return to normal. Just as Clara and Asmodeus apprehend the real culprit, Elagath Chanel, who created ladylike perfume to make Amiri cutesy to satisfy his perverted fantasies. After Elagath is punished, Amiri invites Renove to the council. She also invites Iruma, but following her speech about pursuing her desires, he chooses to have the magical apparatus battler reinstated, but also hopes to see Amiri at their next reading of First Love Memories. Alucard suggests the last trigger was difficult because Amiri secretly wanted Iruma to think she was cute. Amiri worries about acting normally around Iruma, but finally decides to pursue her own desire to make Iruma hers. Sullivan decides to throw a party and insists that Iruma invite his friends. Iruma cleans obsessively when Alucard teases him about Clara being the first girl he invited over. Iruma's grandpa, Sullivan, insists they play Dark Parade in the basement, which Iruma realizes is the demon version of a test of courage. Sullivan sets up a fake monster he can defeat to impress Iruma's friends, only for Asmodeus to defeat it first. After Sullivan grovels for help, Opera uses a 3D projector to fake a dragon, which Sullivan defeats. They also find a chest containing a cake that Opera made as the prize for winning the game. Sullivan is once again depressed when the Opera gets more credit for the cake than he did defeating the dragon. After Clara and Asmodeus leave, Sullivan is cheered when Iruma thanks him for letting his friends visit. Iruma realizes he still has a lot to learn about demon society, so Alucard decides to secretly help and magically changes Iruma's personality to resemble a teenage demon, experiencing their first evil cycle of wanting to do evil deeds. The next morning, Sullivan is horrified to discover his darling Iruma has become rude, ungrateful, and just downright evil. Iruma's new personality leads his classmates to assume that Iruma is in his evil cycle. When Iruma sees other students taking advantage of his fellow misfit classmates, he confronts Kalego and demands that they get a better classroom. Kalego claims that there are no other available classrooms, but Iruma demands the school give them the King's Royal Classroom, the classroom where the previous Demon King, Dorkilla, was a student before becoming Demon King, now closed to honor his memory. Kalego is enraged at the suggestion, so Iruma bets he can get the consent of every faculty member within 3 days, in which case Kalego will have to give them the room. Most of the misfits claim they don't actually care about the room, they only care about what is fun and best serves themselves, which Iruma points out is how real demons should be, egotistical, selfish, and evil, which is exactly why the misfits deserve the king's classroom the most. Inspired, the whole class agrees to help win the room. Iruma reveals he has a plan to get the faculty's consent, and he requires the help of Jazz, the misfits' notorious thief, and pickpocket. Iruma deliberately enrages Kalego by allowing Jazz to pickpocket his diary, which they trade to Momonoki, an instructor with a crush on Kalego, for her consent. Clara gets the consent of Instructor Furcus in exchange for Schneider, the misfit's most intelligent student, assisting her research. Instructor Morax trades his consent for Kamui's perverted knowledge. Picaro and Goemon get consent from Instructor Solas in exchange for clearing weeds. Iruma poses for a family photograph to get Sullivan's consent. Orias wagers his consent in a game with Lead, the misfit's notorious gambler. Despite his luck-boosting magic, Orias is affected by the magic of Elisabetta to show her favoritism and loses to Lead. Instructor Pure wages consent on a duel with Sabnak, who tried to duel him in the opening ceremony. However, Sabnak offers a sincere apologies for his actions, shocking Pure that Sabnak has matured so much, and he gives his consent. Iruma decides to get additional consent from Amiri and the council, convincing her with a heartfelt speech about the misfits' potential and sealing the deal with a wall slap that overwhelms her heart. After 3 days, the misfits easily collected all the remaining consents except one, Kalego's. Iruma confronts Kalego with the teacher consent forms, but Kalego points out that his agreement with Iruma used the word faculty, not teachers, meaning Iruma was supposed to get consent from everyone employed at Babylos, like the janitors, chefs, and librarians. For his lack of critical thinking, Kalego claims Iruma is unworthy to inherit Dorkilla's classroom. Suddenly, all the other staff arrive with their consent forms, having decided to help Iruma in gratitude for helping all of them in the past. Defeated, Kalego furiously gives his consent as well. As the classroom has been sealed for centuries, massive crowds gather to see the Misfits' classroom and learn that they have become famous. Kalego opens the doors with much ceremony, revealing the classroom to be as luxurious as a castle, with multiple floors, rooms, and expensive furnishings. Iruma takes possession of Dorkilla's old throne, shocking everyone into silence as he temporarily takes on the appearance of a true demon king. The very next day, Alucard's spell on Iruma finally runs out, returning Iruma to normal and revealing him to be completely embarrassed. Iruma apologizes to everyone at the school, but they don't care as they become closer friends. Everyone poses for a photograph with Iruma on Dorkilla's throne, including a furious Kalego. Kalego informs the Misfits that the end of Terminus, Demon Summer Vacation, is approaching. But if they fail their exams, they must attend supplementary classes during Terminus instead. Iruma reveals to Clara and Asmodeus that he is bad at studying. Plus, he can read the questions thanks to Sullivan's spell, but cannot understand what the questions are about. Asmodeus decides that they will form a study group. revealing that anyone with a high enough score goes up a rank, but if they score too low, they could go down a rank. Amiri forces Ilgoth to join the magical apparatus battler as keeping an eye on him has become too time-consuming for the council. Alucard is also worried since his intelligence is based on Iruma's rank, so if Iruma loses a rank, Alucard will revert to a mindless black flame demon. Asmodeus quizzes Iruma on the 5 subjects, and Iruma gets a perfect score on mythical zoology as every question is about humans and human society. Experiencing an unusual level of confidence from his perfect score, Iruma decides to take an elective class in Netherworld history taught by the mythical zoology textbook author, Balam Shichiro, who is strange even by Netherworld standards. Balam is obsessed with imaginary creatures that may or may not exist, like humans. While discussing how demons evolved wings, Balam notices Iruma doesn't seem to have any, until Alucard hurriedly transforms into miniature wings and attaches himself to Iruma's back. Balam believes Iruma's small wings are a deformity and apologizes for exposing them, revealing that he himself is abnormal as his mask conceals his scarred face. Iruma accidentally blurts out he is human and fears Balam will eat him, but instead Balam is happy to have proof humans exist, and warns Iruma to be more careful in the future, making Iruma realize he is actually quite nice. Returning to class, Iruma finds everyone depressed over studying. Iruma, who always had to spend summer breaks working, is motivated by innovations to spend terminus having fun with the Misfits. Balam appears and it is revealed that he and Kalego were actually classmates years ago, and are still good friends. Seeing the Misfits struggling, Balam shows them different ways of studying, such as singing songs and playing games, and even creates educational picture books for Iruma. The Misfits begin helping each other, and Iruma finds that studying has become fun. Finally, the day the exams arrives. Kalego informs the Misfits that they all passed their exams. Several of them have gone up a rank, and Schneider, the most intelligent, has gone up 2 ranks. Asmodeus claims that without Iruma's influence, most Misfits would have failed. Kalego congratulates Iruma on passing, but it was not enough to go up a rank. Iruma informs Balam, who agrees that Iruma seems able to influence people to be better. Kalego reveals that Balam is the only other Ket, rank 8, apart from himself, and he can sense lie, which he uses to catch exam cheaters like Elagath. Though Balam does admit one student seems immune to detection. Amiri invites Iruma to their usual manga reading, only for Clara to inform her that Iruma is at karaoke with the boys, so she drags Amiri to a girls-only tea party with Elisabetta and Kurosel. Elisabetta insists on talking about relationships, and Clara realizes she might have a crush on Iruma and wouldn't mind marrying him, causing Amiri to realize Clara might be a serious rival. After a brief argument over Iruma and love, everyone agrees to swap contact information and meet for another tea party. Iruma arrives to read manga to Amiri, but is thrown out as it's a girls-only tea party. Kalego is furious when Sullivan forces him to carry out home visits. Visiting Asmodeus' home, he learns that his obsession with Iruma has caused him to neglect his younger sisters. Kalego determines that Asmodeus should focus on himself more and could become a very powerful demon. At Clara's home, he is mobbed by Clara's siblings until Urara, Clara's most normal brother, calms everyone down long enough for Kalego to inform their mother. Clara is a troublemaker with a good personality, and a bright future assuming she learns to think before she acts. The other visits go just as badly as the first, as he must duel with Goemon's father, protect his wallet from Jazz's brother, and avoid marrying Lead's older sister. Arriving at Iruma's home, it transpires Kalego is terrified of Opera, who was his senior in high school, and would torment Kalego to amuse himself. Kalego informs Sullivan that Iruma has average grades, and is always involved in major incidents, but has made many useful friends and has a natural ability to overcome challenges. Kalego attempts to leave, but Opera tricks Iruma into summoning him in his cute owl form for amusement. As a result of the visit, Kalego gives the Misfits homework for the holidays. Terminus begins, and the Misfits invite Iruma to the Walter Amusement Park. Iruma and the Misfits attend Walter Park, but Sullivan has insisted Kalego, Balam, and Opera attend as bodyguards. Amiri also attends, mistakenly thinking it would be a date alone with Iruma. As the Misfits want to try different things, they split into 3 groups. Kalego is pressured into funding a prize for the team that has the most fun, but insists those in 3rd place receive double homework. Opera takes the girls, Balam takes Iruma, Asmodeus, Sabnok, and Piccolo, while Kalego takes Jazz, Goemon, Kamui, and Lead. The girls dance to force Amiri to buy a cute dress. Kalego's team decided to somehow force him to enjoy himself. Iruma sees Ronave, who reveals that Walter Park is owned by his father. Ronave also accidentally reveals that the park's basement is actually Ouroboros prison, where imprisoned criminals secretly have their magic drained to power the park. It is revealed that Kiryu is in the prison and is working with a group of other inmates to escape, including outside assistance from the notorious Musashino crew, an extremist group who believe demons should revert to being evil. Kiryu had arranged to help them destroy Walter Park if they freed them from prison first. Opera's team had fun trying on dresses with Walter employees Miki and Hyudorin. Kalego's team takes part in a shooting game with employees Atori and Miyamoto. Kalego's team considers exploring Kitadagi Street, but are warned by Kalego that a battle once occurred there between demons during their evil cycles, and even today it is a corrupt place where criminals gather. Coincidentally, Iruma gets lost down Kitadagi Street and is almost grabbed by a shady demon, but is saved by a lady named Shida. Despite her serious demeanor, she buys him ice cream and asks if he can show her how to have fun. Iruma helps her play with animals at the petting zoo and rides a Ferris wheel. Eventually finding Asmodeus, Iruma tries to thank Shida, but she disappears. Iruma learns about Six Fingers, another criminal group wanting to revolt to the old ways. Ronabe removes Pikado's sleep mask and discovers that he is almost impossibly beautiful. Ronabe's servant, Wad, leaves and reveals that he, Shida, Miki, Hyudorin, Atori, and Miyamoto are actually the Six Fingers, planning to attack Ouroboros and free Kiryu. Wet sets off 3 magical items that summon 3 gigantic monsters to destroy the park: a Carmen Dragon, a Mountain Blue Minotaur, and a Panther Rat. The monsters begin destroying the park. Kalego forces his team to fight Mountain Blue even though they haven't learned any attack magic yet. By combining their various powers, they manage to partially blind, distract, and attack Mountain Blue. But it has no real effect. Six Fingers infiltrate the prison and find Kiryu and open all the cells to keep the guards busy. Triton the Handshaker, who once broke a dragon's neck with his bare hands, is defeated by Hyudorin, whose strength surpasses Triton despite only being a few inches tall. Jazz, having the highest rank, is put in charge by the others, despite his own fear. Jazz tries and fails to come up with an effective plan until Kalego gives him a hint about the necklace Jazz always wears. Iruma is upset that the day is ruined and begins to experience an unusual feeling. Several children are trapped by rubble, and Iruma realizes no other demons are willing to help, their natural selfishness preventing them from helping unless it somehow benefits them, and they abandon the children with ease. Iruma finally realizes what his unnatural feeling is, an emotion he has never experienced before: anger. Iruma rushes to help even though it puts him in the way of the dragon, inspiring his classmates to help. Opera fights Rat with Amiri, insisting on helping. Jazz and the boys manage to distract the Minotaur long enough for Jazz to climb inside its ear. His necklace is revealed to be an ear-piercer whistle, which creates a sound wave that grows louder the more magic is put into it. Jazz creates a huge sound wave that ruptures the Minotaur's ears. Kalego decides they've done enough and steps in, defeating Minotaur with a single move, which he admits was fun and agrees to pose for a victory photograph. Crocell sees the other guests panicking and quickly changes into her Kuromo persona and puts on an impromptu dem doll show to ease everyone's fear. Amiri reveals her bloodline ability, Romantista, which increases her physical abilities the more she believes herself. With her confidence boosted by Crocell's song, she defeats Rat easily. Abra is so impressed that he offers her a job working for Sullivan, and Amiri is tempted as it would mean living in the same house as Iruma. Iruma and Picaro save the children, while Asmodeus and Sabnok prepare to battle the dragon. Asmodeus and Sabnok become distracted, arguing with each other while fighting the dragon. The dragon turns on Balma, Iruma, and the children, who only survive thanks to Balam. Asmodeus is distracted, thinking Iruma is hurt, allowing the dragon to kill Asmodeus. Iruma is devastated until it is revealed that Sabnok had saved Asmodeus. Sabnok is still willing to fight, having learned to surpass his limitations when Iruma saved him from the Valley Guardian, and he scolds Asmodeus for being so concerned with Iruma that he forgot to have ambitions of his own. Balam creates the giant wooden dragon, Nugapanir, and kills the dragon. Six Fingers sends the 3 monsters to feed and merge them into the larger composite magical beast. Abra has Iruma summon Kalego in his owl form, who teams up with Balam and Opera to defeat the beast. Kalego is devastated to learn that when in his owl form, his familiar, Cerberus, becomes a puppy. The beast gathers its remaining magic to create a bomb to kill everyone in the park's emergency shelter. Unable to do anything in time, everyone is shocked when Renove appears and uses his charisma ability to force Beast to look at him, aiming the bomb away from the shelter and towards himself. Just as Renove is about to die, Iruma steps in front of him. Iruma unleashes Alagred, who swallows Beast's magic, defeating it for good. Kalego scolds Iruma for risking himself again, but admits he did it excellently. Opera understands why Sullivan chose Iruma as his grandson. Six Fingers reach Kirido and explain that Lord Ball sent them. Kirido is overcome with emotion, realizing Iruma destroyed the beast and believes they are fated enemies. When Ball contacts him, angry Walter Park still stands as its purpose to de-stress demons and their evil cycles is a barrier to his plans. Renobe's father puts the misfits in a hotel as thanks for saving his park. Amiri approaches Iruma alone at a party, despite it looking like a romantic manga scene. Iruma tells her he is still unsure of his ambition, but for now, is happy to keep having fun. Amiri asks Iruma if, one day, they can do something together, just the two of them, and despite being interrupted by Clara and Asmodeus, Iruma agrees, causing Amiri to pass out. The attack is mentioned on the news, and Iruma becomes a hero overnight, causing the hotel to be swarmed by reporters and admirers. As it is unsafe to return home, Clara invites them to her house instead. Iruma is surprised as he's never been invited to a friend's house. Arriving, they find Clara's mother and siblings going overboard to welcome Clara's first friends. The home is filled with strange objects, apparently sent home by Clara's father, a professional adventurer. Clara is embarrassed when Iruma is shown her baby picture album until he remarks that she was super cute. It is explained that the family collects their food from the surrounding hubbub forest. Clara and Asmodeus try to compete over finding the best ingredients for Iruma, so Clara's mother suggests hunting the shabu-shabu from Collateral Cave, the most delicious beast in the forest. Clara praises Iruma as the hero of Walter Park, causing Asmodeus to consider if he actually helped at Walter Park at all. The shabu-shabu is a strange monster made from both animal and vegetable parts. Clara's brothers almost get eaten by shabu-shabu, but Asmodeus saves them, and Clara's mother arrives and catches shabu-shabu. After dinner, Clara is revealed to be excellent at singing relaxing bedtime songs. The next morning, Clara's mother secretly adds more photos to her album, showing Clara's continue to grow up. Emile's father, Henry, flies towards Clara's home. Henry informs Iruma that he can return home, but turns furious when Iruma asks about Amiri. Amiri plans a perfect date and arranges to meet Iruma privately at Aqua Case, an aquarium/swimming pool, but Iruma remains oblivious that it's a date. Amiri's plan fails repeatedly. Due to her greater height, she cannot hold Iruma's hand because their hands are too far apart, and Iruma can't hold her from behind on the water slide because her taller height means she has to ride behind him instead. Iruma buys gifts for everyone, including Clara, which makes Amiri jealous and worried that the date isn't exciting enough. They attend a fortune-telling show where Mako, a water dragon, physically picks ideal romantic partners. Unfortunately, the water has washed off the perfume, hiding Iruma's human scent. So Mako tries to eat him. Amiri defeats Mako, ending up with Iruma in her arms. Amiri becomes depressed, thinking her plan was a total failure, until Iruma notices a cut on her leg. Despite the embarrassment, Amiri claims it hurts to walk and wants to be carried. So Iruma uses magic to make the taller Amiri light enough to carry in his arms, making her realize that despite her plan's failure, it was the best date ever. Iruma finishes the extra homework assigned by Kalego for losing the water park competition. Sullivan and Opera take him shopping, and while buying books, Sullivan purchases a copy of Prophecies about the Demon King. Many people wonder why Sullivan still hasn't taken the throne, so Iruma asks about the Demon King. Sullivan remembers how Durkilla, the now missing Demon King, was a lot like Iruma. Sullivan explains about the 13 crowns, the leaders of the Netherworld, like Sullivan. To become Demon King requires the support of all 13. But it is a heavy responsibility as the Demon King is the Netherworld itself, and his power over it is absolute and can remake it any way they see fit, explaining that the current Netherworld society is simply the way Durkilla wished it to be. Sullivan even remarks that he would be interested to see what would happen if Iruma became Demon King, something Iruma seems quite concerned about, especially later after reading the prophecy scroll. Alakreed summons himself and berates Iruma for forcing him to swallow all Beast's magic and then largely ignoring him ever since, while enjoying himself. As the new term begins, Kalego informs the Misfits that unless they all achieve Deleth, 4th rank, they will lose their right to use the royal classroom. And that's the end of the video. As always, if you liked what you saw, subscribe to the channel. I'll be uploading a lot of videos just like this, so I'll see you at the next one.